Okay, welcome back. We are on week one, lesson 4. We have one lesson left after this for this week's module. And like I said, this week is packed with a lot. This will be the longest module that you have, so please don't feel overwhelmed. Just stick with me, and we've got a lot to cover, but I promise it gets a little lighter going forward. All right, so let's get started on regulating the nervous system. These are some tools to help regulate our health. A little bit about what we're going to cover today, talk about some interesting things regarding our nervous system regulation, signs of dysregulation, the window of tolerance, a little bit about the vagus nerve. So to start, many people with chronic illness or trauma feel stuck in survival mode. They feel anxious, weird, wired, or just kind of shut down. And this is not a personal failure. It is a nervous system dysregulation. So when your system doesn't feel safe, it can't fully rest, digest, or heal. Regulation supports immune balance, reduces inflammation, and helps you feel more emotionally grounded. The goal here isn't constant calm. It's the ability to return to center after stress. And that's what we're really going to focus on today. I know all of you here today, when you signed up for this, we did a nervous system dysregulation assessment. So depending on what your score is, everyone here is pretty moderate to high to severe. And so this part is really, really important on how do we bring that down and start to regulate the nervous system. Okay, so regulation is the ability to come back to a state of balance after being activated or stressed. It doesn't mean that we never feel anxious or tired. It just means that we're able to recover and to restore safety in our body. When your nervous system is regulated, you can feel emotions, negative stress, and respond more flexibly instead of getting stuck in that hyper arousal or collapse. The autonomic nervous system works automatically. It regulates our heart rate, digestion, immune response, and several other things. But when we feel threatened, we go into the fight or flight, which is our sympathetic response. When overwhelmed, we may shut down into a freeze or collapse state, which is the parasympathetic nervous system working in overtime. So the vagus nerve is what helps to regulate these states and restore balance. And with chronic trauma, this can interrupt this system and keep us stuck in these stress loops. Dysregulation is going to look different for everyone. Some people feel hyper aroused, so that's very anxious, restless, angry. Others can feel hypoarousal, which is more of a numbness, a tired, maybe a foggy sensation. And some of us are going to swing between both. And these, again, are not personality flaws. These are signs of the nervous system that it is trying to protect you the only way that it knows how. So let's talk about the window of tolerance. This is your nervous system's zone of resilience. And inside the window, you feel safe enough to think clearly, connect with others, and heal. Outside of the window, we are either too activated or too shut down. You may feel reactive, frozen, or just completely out of control. And the goal here, again, is not to avoid stress, but to expand your window so that you can stay grounded more often and return faster after being triggered by a stressful event. Okay, so let's talk about some actual exercises that we can use to help us feel grounded and present in our body. One that I really enjoy is the 5-4-3-2-1 exercise. I really like this one because it helps anchor you in the present moment. It's really easy to do. You can do it anywhere, and it just helps to pull your awareness out of racing thoughts or dissociation and back into your present environment and your body. It's especially helpful during anxiety or when you feel like you're kind of having that dissociative leaving your body experience. So very easy to do. Like I said, I like this because you can literally do it anywhere. All you do is connect with your senses, and we're going to do 5 things that we can see, right? And that can be anything around you. Right now, I have a coffee cup, my dog's on the floor, my mouse is here, my computer, got a chair over here, right? So anything I can see that's around me. Then 4 things that you can touch. Same thing, I can touch my mouse here by my computer. I can touch myself, my shirt, right? I can touch my hair. I can touch my dog if I lean down a little bit. So 4 things that you can touch. Then we're going to go through 3 things that you can hear. Right now, I can hear the air conditioner on downstairs. I can hear a little bit of the TV on in another room. And I can, again, hear my dog that's making some noises down here. You might not be able to hear 3 different things, and that's okay. Silence also counts, so that's fine. Then we're going to do 2 things you can smell. I have a candle burning in here, so I can smell that. I can smell the laundry detergent on my shirt, right? So anything that you can smell that's present with you in the moment. And then 1 thing that you can taste. I don't happen to be eating anything right now, so there's not a overwhelming taste in my mouth. But even just noticing that is okay. Maybe there's not really a taste that you're experiencing. You're still connecting with your body in the present moment. So really enjoy that exercise. Another one that I really like is the body awareness practice. And this one is just noticing physical sensations that are happening in your body, such as your breathing and your heartbeat, any muscle tension, anything that's happening within the body. And this type of sensory grounding exercise directs the nervous system to focus on the present moment, which again helps reduce anxiety, dissociation, and overwhelm through that embodied engagement, right? So maybe just take a minute right now and check in with your body, see what you notice, if there's parts that feel more tense or parts that feel better than others. If you can feel your heart beating or just that breath awareness, that's a really helpful exercise as well. And then the last one is the cognitive grounding methods. And these are exercises that help anchor awareness in the present moment by using thinking and mental focus rather than physical sensations or breath. So that can be like naming objects or counting things, things that are really using those cognitive abilities to orient you into the now. And there are some worksheets available in this week's lesson plan that will go over these in detail, and you can kind of work through them at your own speed as well. Okay, so a couple of times we have mentioned the vagus nerve, but to give a little more clarity on what that is, it's actually the longest nerve in your body, and it runs from your brainstem down through your face, your throat, your heart, your lungs, and digestive organs. And as we discussed before, it's kind of like your body's emotional handbrake. So it signals your system, we're safe now. The danger is past. It's okay to slow down, right? But after something startling has happened, for those of us with autoimmune disease, the vagus nerve often does not function properly, leading to the nervous system dysregulation and inflammation in the body. So let's look at some ways we can reset our vagus nerve. One is orienting, right? And this is when we just become very aware of our environment. We slowly look around a room and focus on neutral or pleasant sights. And that sends a message to the brain that I'm safe now. I'm presently safe. And so let's just practice a short orienting exercise together. And this is just orienting with the eyes. And why it works is because looking around slowly and landing on neutral or pleasant objects helps your brain to realize you're not in danger, even if maybe you are feeling that way inside. So very easy to do. Start by just sitting somewhere quiet. Hopefully you're kind of already there. And then we're just going to slowly turn our head and eyes left, right, up, and down. Okay. So we will start with going to the left as far as you can go. Just holding there a second. Maybe deep breath in and out. Great. Now we're going to go to the right. And take your time, no rush. And again, you're just going to stretch as far as you can without any discomfort. And hold it there for a deep breath. And come back to center. And then we're going to look up. And again, just tilt your head back as far as you can and hold. Deep breath. And now we're going to look all the way down. And that feels nice, that stretch. And again, just hold it there wherever feels comfortable for you. Deep breath. And back up. I like to close my eyes, but you can also keep them open and just let your gaze pause on anything that you find in the room that's kind of comforting or neutral. And then just take a minute and kind of notice how your body responds to that orientation. So another way to stimulate the vagus nerve is through some gentle stretching, and we kind of did that in our neck. But you can, again, do some other gentle stretching that feels nice for you. This helps to release tension near the vagus nerve and add some calming breath. So just take a moment and, again, be comfortable wherever you're sitting and, just gently rotate maybe to one side and then the other. And just make sure you're dropping your shoulders, releasing any tension that's there. A nice inhale and a soft audible sigh when you release that. If you feel like stretching overhead, sometimes that can feel really nice. Or maybe you're just rolling your shoulders back. Just connect to your body. I also really like to massage the back of my neck right by my spine. And this actually helps to further stimulate the vagus nerve. So feel free to do that while you're stretching. Just get a little extra stimulation there. There are several ways to stimulate and reset the vagus nerve, which I have compiled for you in a worksheet that you can find in the week 1 lesson 4, and it's titled Vagus Nerve Reset Exercises. So please check that out. Practice these at home. It's a really great way of resetting the nervous system, resetting the vagus nerve, and just feeling into your body. So mindfulness, I think that mindfulness is probably one of the most helpful coping skills I ever learned. And it's basically just the simple practice of paying attention on purpose in the present moment and without judgment. This is not about trying to stop your thoughts or forcing yourself to relax. Instead, it's about just gently noticing what is happening inside of you and around you, just as it is. This specific exercise really teaches you to become an observer of your internal world. So you might notice a thought like, I'm doing this wrong, or a sensation like tension in your shoulders, or an emotion like sadness. The key is here, we don't need to fix that, analyze it, push it away, avoid it. We just name it, like thinking, tightness, or grief. And then we gently return to the breath, right? We are just simply observing without reacting. And this really helps give your nervous system something powerful, which is the experience of staying present without needing to flee or shut down. It tells your body we can stay here, we are safe enough, even if there is uncomfortable emotions present. So even a few minutes of this practice each day can begin to retrain your body and your brain to respond differently to stress, and it builds more resilience and safety over time. So let's try it now just for a minute together, and we're going to start with just a few slow breaths, and then we're just going to bring awareness to whatever arises. Okay, so again, just deep breath in. If you want to practice the 4-4-6 breathing that we talked about before, this is a great time to do that. Okay, but just notice whatever comes up for you emotionally, thought wise, and physical sensations. Okay, no judgment, just deep breath. So take a minute and check in. What emotions are present with you right now? any thoughts that are on your mind, any parts of your body that feel particularly good or bad, right? Just notice those things without any judgment or any itinerary to try and change those things. So something to remember is that trauma and chronic stress often get stuck in the body as tension, bracing, or numbness. So movement, especially gentle, intuitive movement, really helps to discharge that stuck energy. And you don't have to do intense workouts. Simple things like what we talked about today with just stretching, rocking, kind of shaking it out, an easy walk outside, all of those things can offer relief and regulation. The most important thing is while you're doing that you're just checking in with yourself and letting whatever comes up be present. So last week, we ended on a quote by Dr. Peter Levine, who founded Somatic Energy Experiencing. So I want to talk a little bit more about what exactly that is and how it relates to your body through movement and regulation. So SE, or somatic experiencing, is built on the idea that trauma gets stored in the body when we can't fully process or discharge the energy of a stressful or life-threatening event. So rather than focusing on the story or memory of what happened, SE helps you to notice and release the physical survival responses, like fight, flight, or freeze, that get stuck in your nervous system. So basically how this works is somatic experiencing helps you to tune in to body sensations, just like we did, right? Noticing any tightness, any numbness, any heat or trembling, and then identify the nervous system state that you're in. Do you feel like you want to fight? Do you feel like you want to flee or flight? Do you feel like you want to shut down, like you're in freeze? Or do you feel a calmness, right? Just checking in with yourself. And then using slow, titrated awareness to allow your system to gently release trapped, stressed energy. And then reconnect with a felt sense of safety, control, and completion. So SE is not about reliving trauma. Instead of reactivating distressing memories, SE helps you stay present while your body completes survival responses that were cut off, like shaking, crying, sighing, or even gentle movements. Now, how this relates to movement and regulation is that movement plays a really key role in regulating the nervous system. Because, like we talked about, trauma is stored in the body, especially when we freeze or shut down. And SE supports restoring flow and completing that survival energy through small intentional movements. Regulation requires discharge. So movement like stretching, swaying, shaking, or walking can help release that stored tension or bracing. And SE encourages people to follow what their body wants to do, what you naturally feel like doing, not pushing or forcing movement, right? Just checking in to see where the body might want to move and release that energy. And these micro movements matter. In SE, even subtle actions like a small twitch, a deep sigh, or just turning the head can signal that your system is beginning to reset. And movement helps return to safety, right? This is so important because as you move out of the freeze or fight or flight state and reconnect with rhythm or sensation, the body begins to trust that it's safe again. And that is so key to what we're trying to accomplish here. So let's say that someone with chronic illness notices that they always feel tense in their belly during stress. So in SE, we might bring awareness to that area, noticing the tension gently, and then inviting a small movement like softening the belly or rocking the torso, or even just placing your hands on the stomach and applying some light pressure. This can allow the autonomic nervous system to shift from bracing into relaxation, which helps to build those new neural pathways for regulation. So to kind of sum all this up, somatic experiencing helps you listen to your body, regulate your nervous system, and move away from that stuck energy. It supports healing, not just by understanding trauma, but by physically completing it slowly and safely. So we're almost done with this lesson, but let's practice a short SE exercise together. So again, let's begin by finding a comfortable seated position or even lying down if that feels better for your body. And then just let your hands rest gently on your lap. Or you can place one hand over your heart and one on your belly, whatever feels comfortable to you. And then we're just going to take a slow breath in through the nose and out through the mouth with a soft sigh. So let's do that one more time. A long, gentle exhale. And let your shoulders drop when you do that. You can keep breathing that way, but I'm going to keep walking you through this. So now bring your attention inward. And without changing anything, just begin to notice what's happening in your body. Is there a part of you that feels warm or cool or tight or heavy? Choose one sensation to focus on, perhaps a place where you feel tension or energy, and name it silently. Tightness, buzzing, numb, nothing, they're all welcome. No wrong or right answers. Now for step 2, I want you to orient to safety. So gently open your eyes if they were closed and slowly kind of look around the room. Let your gaze land on something that is neutral or comforting, a plant, a color, a soft texture, a blanket, a pet, whatever feels calming to you. Let your eyes just rest there, and again, take a deep breath and let it out slowly, reminding your body, this is now. I am safe enough to feel. And then for step 3, we're going to follow the body's impulse. Return your attention to your body and ask, what would feel good to do right now, right? Just be curious about that while you're deep breathing. And maybe you want to roll your shoulders or stretch your arms out or just rock side to side or just do some deep breathing and really exhaling loudly and moving that energy through. Whatever feels comfortable to you, just let your body move, even if it's just a little, right? Just a small movements count. Trust your body and do what it wants to do. So thank you for practicing those exercises with me. I hope that you find them helpful. And I just want to remind you of a couple of things, which is most importantly that nervous system regulation is most effective when it's practiced consistently and not just in moments of crisis. So I do hope that the things you have learned today you are able to take with you and practice consistently. And be curious, right? Not all of these things work well for everybody. So choose 2 or 3 tools that really resonate with you. So, today we discussed grounding, resetting the vagus nerve, mindfulness, movement and somatic experiences. And of course, we've already covered some breathing techniques and connecting with our senses. So pick some things that really resonate with you most and just be consistent in practicing these techniques. And the more that you can practice them for even just a few minutes a day, especially during calm periods when you are not feeling a lot of hyperarousal or dysregulation, that's really important because this builds your body's capacity for regulation and resilience. Just like strengthening a muscle, right? You go to the gym and you do the same things and you practice and you get stronger and stronger. And same with training your mind and your nervous system. So just want to leave you with one more quote, which is by Marcus Aurelius, and you have power over your mind, not outside events. realize this and you will find strength. I really like that because I think it's such a testament to the fact that a lot of things happen to us, both in our past and in our present, that we really can't control. But you do have control over how you respond to it and how you talk to your body and how you treat your body from the inside. And I promise you are not going to bully yourself into healing. So just be nice to yourself. You're doing great. And I'm really looking forward to you joining me in our final lesson of week 1, which will be lesson 5. So I will see you soon.